Mr. Speaker. What exactly were we looking at when you talk about the equalization fund? Other people refer to it as a marginalization fund. I know, Mr. Speaker, that the decision to be able to define counties as being marginalized was reached by a serious study that was carried out by the Commission of Revenue Allocation. I'm happy that ultimately they decided to narrow down to wards, sub-wards of villages so that they can be able to assist counties at least develop. One of my biggest pet peeves, Mr. Speaker, is that every financial year money is set aside, but that money never reaches the counties. I hope that now, finally, with this equalization fund, the monies will be able to reach the counties. One of my other biggest problems, Mr. Speaker, is that there are so many people through the Ministry of Planning who are engaged in contracts. And if you happen to go to counties, Mr. Speaker, you'll be shocked. There are hospitals which were built, but they ended up just being white elephants. Earlier on, when I was in my office, I was listening to the good senator from Mutembei talking about pending bills. And yesterday, we had the cabinet secretary in charge of Treasury discussing about pending bills. And also money that is sent to counties vis-a-vis money that is sent to national government. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that at this time we are still grappling with the idea of coming up with legislation to be able to ensure that we comply with the Constitution. We have violated the Constitution for so many years. Right now, Treasury has violated Article 219 when it comes to the issue of sending money, the share of county government, where hopefully yesterday we got into some form of consensus where money for February will be sent. Now, Mr. Speaker, my biggest problem is this. The Constitution sets up a sunset clause on the issue of the equalization. It was only supposed to be 10 years, but our counties have not enjoyed any resources from the equalization fund. We have kept this money. So the question is, as I support this bill, will all the money be sent that has been kept aside? Is that money there in the consolidated fund or it's not there? Those people who build those hospitals and were never paid, will they be paid? Will those hospitals that were built in some counties, those roads which were paved or maybe graded, so that these counties or villages who are still living in the old ages can be able to slowly catch up with the rest of Kenya? Are those roads still, are they still functional or are they dilapidated? Mr. Speaker, sir, I think as a country, we need to be asking ourselves and reminding ourselves the concept of a fiduciary responsibility. I would dare say, Mr. Speaker, that we have not been responsible as legislators, as the other arm of government, the executive, because at least if we were and we cared about our counties catching up with other counties, 2023 should not be the first time when we are discussing the issue of equalization fund. And if we are to be remorseful, I hope that Treasury will be able to release the entire amount set aside to our counties. I do hope also that those contracts, or which will be built using the money from the equalization fund, will be given to youth, women from those villages. We don't want a situation whereby a small cabal or a cartel ends up getting all the contracts. Yet, the whole concept of setting aside a small percentage of all the revenue collected should be supporting those counties which are behind. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, since I do not want to belabor the point, I think my point was very clear from the onset. This Senate failed, in my view, in defending devolution by agreeing for the very first time with the national government in terms of the shareable revenue And we are going to pay hard for it. I do hope that now